Hey, hi everyone. In this video, we will mainly talk about like how to enable structured output from an agent. Okay. So far, whatever exercise we did, like you might have seen that agent output, the output what we get from LLM or an agent is not structured. It's more of a text and it is more a paragraph, kind of format. So that's where every time you call it again, you might get some different output, and if you want to prevent that, and if you want to ask the agent to always output in a specific format, so that's where we need a structured output. So that means you are restricting, or you are telling the agent that okay, you do whatever you want to do, but when you do the output, an output in this particular format I want. Okay, so that's what this is all about, the structured output, and it's a very simple steps to enable it. So first we need to first define a schema how we want the output to form it, and for that we need to import the Pydantic library. So from Pydantic we need to import this base model, and then we have to define a class. In this class we are defining how to we need the output format. So let's say we will be doing an use case. In the past we have done the same one. Let's say given a DNA sequence, the agent will calculate how many n bases are there. Okay, so and if you run this without structured output, you might get different output, like okay, the n content of DNA is let's say 13, or the content I found n content is around 13, something like that. And every time you might get different output. But now to restrict that, what we need to define, like we need to create a class. Let's say you can give any name and inherit from the base model, and here you need to define the format. So here let's say I'm creating two variable, total n basis and DNA sequence, and let's say I'm saying the first one should be an integer and second one should be a string, and that's all. And then while creating an agent, the same thing, right? This is the name of the agent, the instruction is the system prompt, then what model, the brain, and what tools you want to use, and just you need to specify one more parameter here, output type. So that means we are telling that to agent that you always output in this n content format, that means always output in this format. So that's why we are restricting our agent to in this format. Okay, so let's take an example. We will first do without output, and we'll see like how the output might vary from every iteration. Then we will try to restrict the output. Okay, okay, let's go. So this is there on the structured output notebook from the course. So let's import all the libraries, required libraries. One more extra is that's this one. We are importing from Pydantic. We are importing this base model. So I imported it. Then here I'm loading my environmental variable key, OpenAI key, and so now we are creating a tools, right? So let's say this is the same function what we used earlier, but I will repeat it again. So let's say calculate n content. It takes a DNA sequence and it will calculate total how many n are there. But since it is my custom tool, I'm just adding 10, whatever the n is there. So if there are 3 n is there, we will get 13 as the answer. And you decorate it with function tool. So now your tool is defined, and that's all. And let's say for now we skip it. We now create this agent. So here I'm telling agent instruction that you are a helpful assistant and you are equipped with this tool. If query involves calculate n content, use this tool, otherwise say no, something like that. Okay, and let me just wrap it so that you can see it. Okay, so now while defining agent, you say the name, the system prompt, the LLM model, and here the tool that it will use it. But now for now I'm just commenting it. Okay, so let's see what happens. So create then agent. Now you run the agent. Okay, so let's see. Now it will, I have asked the question, calculate the n content in the following DNA sequence. Okay, so the output now you see it's a simple text. Okay, for now let me just put it here so that we can compare it. Okay, this is what we got. So now run it second time. Okay. So let me copy this. Now you see the text got changed, right? So you got the total n content in the DNA sequence is 13. Let's run one more time. It might say that total n content in the given DNA sequence is something like that. So you see every time you might get different results here, but since this is a very simple query, right, there is not much variation. But let's say if you ask some paragraph kind of output we expect, then the results might differ. Okay, so I don't know why it is now taking so much time. Now you see Now the third output you might see, right? So this output is, you got it, the calculated n content in the DNA sequence is 13. So every time you will get a very different response. So that's what we are avoiding here. Okay. So now sorry. Now what we need to do, we need to define a schema to restrict. So for that, as I said, like we need to import this base model, which already we have imported it. So now you define a class, and the class name is n content. You can give any name here, and this has to inherit from the base model. So that means this class is a child of the base model class, and I'm defining very two simple thing, total n basis, which is the integer type, and DNA sequence. And furthermore, you can also define reasoning. Suppose if it is a reasoning model, something you can say reasoning equal to string. It's like, or any other thing you can define, yeah. So let's define this class, and that's all. And you pass this class as an output type, So now I'm uncommenting it. So now I'm telling this output type is n content. So let's, now I've created my agent. So now let's see the output what we get. So the output what we got is a class of, you see, this is the output is the n content, and it has only 2 value. So let's try it again. Okay. So I'm just commenting it. So we'll get the same output only always. I'm just copying paste, and you see that it will very same output. So that's what the beauty of restricting our agent to this output. So this is very useful. For example, when we are doing some chaining, right? Let's say run this let's say tool 1, then tool 2, then tool 3, and you need some structured output of one call, or one agentic call goes to second agent and third agent, like that. So in that case, instead of random text, right, to have more control, you can ask the agent to pass in this particular format. So let's say, for example, best example, let's say we did this example at DBNSFP release notes. Okay, so every time it is sending a release notes in random format, so you can restrict that. Okay, tell the release version, comma, so it will say that what is the release date, when it is released, whether it contains XML tag update or not, whether it has like how many exome changes, how many genome data added, something. And you can create this schema, so that your output of the agent will always be more structured the way you want, rather than like every time you get a very random output. Okay, so that's all, very simple 3-step process by which we saw, like we can restrict the output of the agent. Okay, and that's all. And okay, so next we'll have this video where we will restrict our agent for we'll put some check on the agents, that they should not answer something beyond any life science related, or whatever the agent is capable of. You should not, we can put some check input and output guardrails, we call that. We'll see in the next video. Okay, I hope this video was useful, very small one, and yeah, thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.